Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal, in a recent interview with the newsroom, threw his support behind the August 2019 judgment by Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George, in which she ruled that while house-to-house registration is not unlawful and is constitutional, the data garnered from the registration exercise must be merged with the existing National Register of Registrants database. Nandlal, who will oversee the drafting of the reforms which will make its way to Parliament for debate and a subsequent approval, believes the Chief Justice's ruling was clear. The interpretation is that once a person is registered, there is no law that allows for the person's name to be removed from the register, making the political opposition's call for periodic house-to-house registration exercises, as contemplated, irrelevant.
We have to clarify whether we have continuous registration in this country or whether we have to do house-to-house at periodic intervals. The two do not go together. If it's a continuous cyclical registration process, which I understand that is what exists in Guyana, then you can't stop the cycle and have a house-to-house at the whim and fancy of some political party. Thirdly, we have to make very clear, and the Chief Justice has done so in a decision. Only this morning, I was looking at the court order, where the Chief Justice says that you cannot remove a person's name on the list because that person is not resident in Guyana. Residency is not a qualification to vote. Citizenship is.
But opposition-nominated Commissioner of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, Vincent Alexander, believes that this ruling cannot be upheld, and through the electoral reform process, a legal system must be put in place to ensure that there is a periodic renewal of the voters' list.
Our first and major concern is dealing with the Register of Registrants. We are of the view that we are in a conundrum because of the legal ruling of the court, and that the legislature has to find some mechanism that will allow GECOM to be able to go to ground zero and create a new Register of Registrants periodically. That's our major concern.
Alexander's comments came moments after a meeting among the 6 commissioners and the chairman of GECOM to discuss the support for Guyana's highly touted electoral reform process, where the International Republican Institute was aborted. Nandlal had said that the reforms to be agreed on will not be in favor of any political party. Last week, the United States Embassy in Guyana announced its support for an 18-month project to support the capacity of GECOM and the Attorney General's chambers regarding electoral reform. One day later, Nandlal acknowledged the project after meeting Resident Program Director of the International Republican Institute, Dorata Razi, and the local program coordinator, Sarah Barrett, at his chambers. But Commissioner Alexander believes that this is not enough, and there should be direct correspondence from the government to GECOM, and at the minimum, a parliamentary decision before proceeding with the project. He said the meeting was aborted for clarity with all stakeholders. However, the government-nominated commissioners feel different on the issue. Speaking with the newsroom by telephone Tuesday evening, Commissioner Sesgun Raj said the objections raised were misguided.
GECOM is not an agency that is responsible for changing laws. It does not have that power. It does not have the power of reform of the electoral laws or anything. It's an agency that executes policy or executes the legislative program or the legislation that is put together by Parliament. So I don't understand the position taken by them.
Through this project, GECOM, the Attorney General's chambers, and Guyanese CSOs will collaboratively consolidate and improve local electoral and constitutional law knowledge, establish an internal timeline to address electoral reform, improve collaboration for joint advocacy actions, and prioritize electoral and constitutional law issues while promoting reform through citizen engagement. The IRI has committed to liaising with the Canadian High Commission as well as the Indian High Commission, both of whom have already pledged assistance to Guyana in this endeavour, and will coordinate with those offices to avoid duplication and to ensure the best use of the resources are available. For the newsroom, I'm Kurt Campbell.